Ladies and gentlemen, you stumbled upon the PCS, which is one of the bloodiest leagues in the world, but also, I've noticed, after casting many different leagues, one of the most fun to watch. My name is Hysterics, and I'm joined by Nightstar, who's been taking me through tonight. 2 more games to go, good sir, and quickly, as we get into this, remember, CDBC Bank and Caliber are our proud sponsors, and we also want to thank Riot Games and Garena for the league operations and the full production. Now, sir, that we've moved through, DCG vs J-Team was one of the highlights of the night. I think CFO vs Sem9 is a highlight in a different way because Sem9 still need their first win, and I'm just wondering if they're going to get it.
I don't know if it's going to come against CFO, but
Good point.
Their remaining schedule is not kind to them. So,
yep,
it's Sem9 might just be.
You sound so optimistic. It's rough, it's hard, it's difficult, and 0-16. It's no surprise, right? Going up against CDBC Flying Oyster, we can start with the positives here, Nightstar, because I think this team has had the most dangerous solo lanes, and while they've been a little bit back and forth against DCG, J-Team, PSG, this is still a roster that I'm kind of scared of and has had some banger performances.
Yeah, when it comes to taking on Flying Oysters, it's about the mechanical prowess, right? And the mechanical powers that they have in both mid and top is just really, really insane. Even Gemini is probably one of the better mechanical junglers in our league.
Yep.
And then it really just comes down to this bottom lane. In this game in particular, they've put Atlan back in, so maybe they're looking for a more top side focused approach. Not sure, because Shun, honestly, in his 3 games, he's looked really, really good, and they've performed very, very well when it comes to getting bot lane leads and snowballing around the Xayah.
Yeah, it's surprising, right? They started with Atlan, and recently seeing Shun, there must be something going back to the basics here for CDBC Flying Oyster. Again, this team, though, hasn't always really been about the bottom side. Koala's great, Atlan's great, but it has been about the top 3. Whereas in Sem9, I'm not sure what it's been about. I think Arashi's had moments. Lazar, when he's gotten through the laning phase, has been great. But this team is still lacking direction and kind of lacking that strength in any one specific role in comparison to the rest of the PCS.
Yeah, I think you mentioned when Lazar's gotten out of lane, he's been okay. And that's been the issue, is getting out of the lane phase. As we get to see our comparison, it will be Atlan and ClayX. ClayX, I feel like he's had he's had the opportunity to perform, but at the same time, because they end up using so many resources on making sure Lazar gets out of lane in a all right manner, he's not given the opportunity to actually carry, because he's not given the resources to carry.
Yeah, it's rough in that sense. I like that we are, it would have been hard to find a head-to-head in this matchup. Like, I like that we're looking at bot at the very least. I think ClayX has somewhat been, I can't use words like reliable, but okay, I'm going to use words like reliable. Some kind of reliable source. It's hard, right? It's really hard talking about this team because it's kind of like how I saw V5 in LPL in previous years. It's funny that they're the top team at the moment, but V5 went 0-16 in 2 different splits, and it was really hard because they didn't have an identity. They struggled to find winning lanes. Sem9, I see in a very similar light as they go up against CFO here. We have to just see if they can play towards Lazar, if they can get him, again, out of the laning phase as we go to Big Ben.
Yeah, that will be a difficult task up against what a lot of fans call PCS Chovy in Mission, because he just CS gaps you every single time. It's such a tall order here for Sem9, as we get to see the bans Zeri, Syndra, and Tryndamere taken away by Sem9. Interestingly enough, they do direct the ban towards Mission Syndra. Of course, that is a champion that can get early cryo, can also just one-shot you in lane. But at the same time, CFO have played a lot of Galio themselves for Mission, and I almost expect to see the same this time around too.
But it kind of makes sense to me that they would first pick the Lee Sin here in the draft, right? When you and I have been going through games where it's been 80 carry, a weird Nautilus first pick, against Arashi, banning away Hecarim, banning away Diana. This guy is, other than that, played things like the Xin Zhao, the Viego, putting him on the back burner, while Gemini's Lee Sin has also been his most played. It's just a nice takeaway from CFO to start us off.
Yeah, it looks like it will be the Ahri and Jinx locked in. I mean, as far as backline goes, it's pretty nice for the side of Sem9, and I mean, CFO looks like they're currently hovering the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa mid is, from what I've heard, it's actually being played against Ahri because Ahri can't punish you hard enough. So it's very possible they could lock in the Kai'Sa still later on, and that might be something Sem9 have to take care of in the ban phase. But CFO, they'll go ahead, lock in the Xayah pick. I was kind of looking at the Xayah and saying, hey, maybe Shun is in because Atlan's just not comfortable on the Xayah. Well, now we'll get to see if that is the case as he gets the Xayah in his hands.
I mean, I just love the fact that Xayah is being played. One of the most fun champions to watch through team fighting, and ClayX's second most played, so it's takeaways after takeaways. Of course, opting into the Jinx here for the matchup will be fun to watch here in the 2v2 as we get Arashi back on that Viego. So at least some kind of comfort here for Sem9, where we're going to see what goes into the other solo lane and what Felia picks up for his support.
Yeah, for Sem9, it's all about the resets, right? After that first kill, you get ult reset on both Arashi and Lazar on the Ahri and the Viego, and it's about playing off of those and the Jinx excitement. So we'll see what they pair things up. They are lacking a little bit of a front line if they want to play around the Jinx, right? So maybe we end up seeing a Sion or a Gragas up in the top lane for Shiromine. And for support, I mean, I guess we're back to stock standard Leona and Nautilus if possible.
Well, I don't like that you said that, but you're right. It's stock standard probably going to be there, so... The Rakan ban away, also hurting Felia, noting that this guy, when I have casted him, Rakan's been his most played, and yeah, it's actually aligned with the Leonas, so we'll see if we go that direction, but Leona is the final ban. So we've taken away quite a lot of supports here. Now it's going to be about those options left up. A support counter pick would be interesting, getting a strong Kennen top, and I don't know if you've been seeing a lot of Kennen in the PCS. We've been seeing hardly any in LPL apart from 369. It's not even going to be that. Instead, we just get a pure Malphite from Shiromine.
I like the Malphite pick here. You already see triple AD threats. Yes, most likely Mission is going to go onto some sort of AP mid laner, perhaps something like a Orianna. But if it is an Orianna, it's another immobile backline mage, so you're perfectly fine playing this Malphite pick, and it's going to be a different immobile backline mage in the Victor. So I actually love this Malphite pick for Shiromine. Again, the issue is going to be the lane phase, but we can talk more about that once we get into that. And for Sem9, I mean, you're saving counter pick for a support, so it must be them looking at the Renata. But actually, this is a better Renata angle than before because there is less range on CFO than what we saw in the previous game. It's just a matter of, yeah, there we go.
I was going to say, like, you mentioned range in the last game, and you're right. Like, this time around, the range, less so, and more setup, more reliable setup, I'd say, with the Malphite ultimate. So we'll see how it plays out this time for Felia, because for Sem9, chasing that win is Oh, it's just everything for them. They've got 2 games left, including this. It's CFO, then DCG. And I don't know where they do it, but God, you got to believe in it somewhere. Folks, a CFO, if you're wondering what's on the table for them, all I can tell you is that CFO are also chasing away the top 2. If they get a win here and then they find a win against, what's their last series? Frank Esports is the final series of the regular season. They then move to 13. And 13 has the potential to hit top 2, depending if all others lose, like DCG to Sem9, J-Team as well to Impunity. There's a lot there that can make CDBC tie up, but it is a hard ask. At the very least, Nightstar, I think you're looking for top 4 here, and that's what a win can accomplish.
Yeah, at the very least, if you get top 4, it gets you side selection. For the first round, so that's small advantages, you know. But man, if we turn off nameplates, this Sem9 comp is looking real good. But we can't. We have to factor in the nameplates. So CFO,
we have to. You're right. God, you're being very straightforward about Sem9 Nightstar, and I'm all about it. A 0-16. How do they go at the bottom of the PCS? Will Sem9 go to Worlds this year? Only time will tell. But for now, they ain't going to MSI. They ain't going to playoffs, but they are going straight to my heart as the team that have had some pretty brilliant early games. And when I say brilliant, I mean sometimes explosive when the mid lane hasn't been blowing up themselves. So explosive, not implosive. I'm learning the difference. As CFO, you might not like the draft as much, but it is a lot more standard, a lot more in a simple direction here with Graves, with Victor, like something we saw a lot in 12.2, 12.3.
It's really just picking whatever comfortable lane champions you want on CFO.
They're spotted.
But a nice ward here. Can they get a collapse?
Well, it
they
depends.
know rest is deep.
It's a W start from Lazar. No charm here. Unfortunate, but then again,
Rest.
you're an Ari. Yeah, he's behind enemy line. Spotted out. Rest in 1v3. Lazar's damage going to come
is
through.
This it?
Electrocute there.
Is this
yes, it is. First blood, Sem9. Here we go.
All right, all aboard. We are on the Sem9 train. If it's going to happen, you get first blood with, I would say, a superior composition, and it's against CFO. So, like, maybe that slows down their lane power. Unfortunately, though, Rest still has his flash, so he's still fine. Koala also helping them out.
Nice handshake here. Ignite goes down, and Clayek's going to chase this one up. Remember that heal's still available from Atlan, so he'll back away. Nothing further committed, but Sem9, dude, I don't know. So far, we're 600 gold up, and things are going nice, apart from mid lane.
Yeah, Mission is already styling on this lane, and we're only 2 minutes in. I don't see it going up, but elsewhere.
Got him again. Oh, that handshake, beautiful into the traps. Koala flashes away, and this is why we're seeing the Jinx Renata combo being so strong. A nice duo here from Philia and Clayx, the focus this game of Sem9, it seems.
Yeah, and this lane does offer a lot of power, right? The issue is the scaling power coming in from a Renata can be a lot lower than just pure enchanter supports, and it's a lot more comp dependent. But in this particular game, it does work out against the composition of CFO, and now it looks like these two junglers are going to kind of pass up each other, but Lazar is 1 HP.
All Sonic Wave connects, so that's so easy. Charm doesn't, Gemini gets out, and never mind the Viego off to the wing. 1-1, nice gank from Gemini.
Man, Lazar taking that death there under his tower. At least he keeps his flash, but it's really just like the smallest of victories.
Yep.
For him, because he is in a terrible spot as Koala. He knows.
Yeah, they do. They know that Arashi's down in the bottom lane, and look, that early first blood, the gold's been evened up, and you know, Lazar again, the laning phase has been the roughest thing here for the mid laner. Every single time I watch him, he's getting bullied out, and Mission gets him low. Gemini does the finishing touches, and the second kill gets to Gemini. Now the gold's even. What do you want to see here from Jungler's Nightstar? Because never mind, Dredgeline comes through, and now we're looking at the bottom lane. ClayX is ignited, and he's about to go down. Bailout comes through, giving him time, but Koala picks up the kill, and just like that, 7-9 are on the back foot.
And all of a sudden, a great hook coming in from Koala. He's missed a lot of the early ones and almost got himself killed in those situations, but he lands a massive hook there onto ClayX. ClayX does not use the flash and decides to just hold on to these summoners. Apparently, everyone's just holding on to flash now.
Yeah, they are, because they're deciding they're going to use it next game. So, at least for CFO, they didn't have to burn it out in their 80 characters. They're the ones aggressing for the play, but hey, Koala picked up the kill. That's something for 7-9, but the problem is that there's a CS lead developing bot side, mid, top as well. Individual lanes from CFO are doing really nicely despite the early first blood, and even though Rest died, he was able to TP to top side and is having a great time against the Malphite. Oh, no.
Yeah, now Arashi.
Yeah, it's a Lee Sin. It's a Lee Sin against the Viego. How do you win this? You need Lazar who flashes in, but Gemini with the counter play. He flashes back into melee range. The Sonic Wave comes through. Gemini with the clutch 2v2. CFO well and truly on the board.
Oh, he dodges out on the charm, and that was critical as they just don't have the damage afterwards to actually get the kill back. And I mean, were we surprised? No.
No, you don't have to justify it. We're not. If you're surprised about Gemini being clutch, no way. Like in the past couple of series, I think it was the Graves game where he was just split pushing to death. As we look at the replay here, Nightstar, it's Gemini again who comes in massive.
Yeah, Gemini finds the Q, and I mean, Gemini just dodges out onto that sidestep where the ward hop just kills any momentum 7-9 could have had. But they actually find a gank top lane. They get the kill on to Rest. That will help a little bit here. And the only saving grace on this composition right now is this Malphite. Once he hits that mid-game point, these Malphite ultimates could potentially really make a big statement in the game. Just to be able to follow up then with the hostile takeover is
replay.
We're going to go from replay into a replay.
Nice. Clean stuff from 7-9. And there was something you talked about in draft that I found interesting is hello Koala. He's joined in the mid lane play, and Lazar again getting bullied out. But you were talking a lot about how the fights work for 7-9, right, with this draft. And we got to remember, you mentioned resets here being a really big thing for Lazar, for Arashi. And Arashi's in a very good position here, 2-1 on the Viego. He has a Sheen, double longsword. There's quite a bit of damage access early, so they are kind of setting up for one of the conditions you highlighted here in the early game.
Yeah, and it looks like they want another kill. No ult on Malphite, though.
Yeah, Rest with his flash available. One burnt here from Arashi. The response good. CFO's top laner again getting bullied. Well, look at the top lane. Oh, no. Just when 7-9 have an opportunity, ClayX going to feel it out. Ulti comes through. ClayX out in the nick of time, burning his flash. He ain't holding on to it this time, Nightstar. But CFO open up the bot wave again. And Gemini, he's going to trickle on in. But ClayX is already gone. So he's just coming down for the exit play. And CFO opening up bot yet again means a big thing here for their early game.
Yeah, Felia ClayX just really struggling in this lane phase. Straight into another replay of Sterix. It's just a nice hook. And, I mean, Felia just can't be there. Especially when you've lost lane advantages, then things, and whenever it's a range versus melee support matchup, things will swing very wildly.
Yep. I mean, at this point, we've got a lead in bot that's about 10 CS. Look at mid, 20 CS with Lazar getting camped from Koala's roams. Gemini might be down on CS, but he's keeping up in kills, and at this point, still a massive threat. And again, you come back to the point that you mentioned here, that Sem9 still have that top side, keeping him at bay. Rest is, you know, unusually down pretty bad, and I feel like CFO's top laner has always been in win condition. Their solo lane is huge. We'll have to see how he goes as Herald gets started up by Sem9.
Well, Herald is started out, but I feel like we're possibly about to witness a 1v1 in that bottom lane, but Koala, okay.
Okay, Dredgeline comes through anyway, into the gravity field, yeah. Felia with the Chaos Storm, but it requires a bit of follow-up damage. Lazar walking into it, though. He has to kite back, and luckily survives. Arashi wants to bring the play. Spirit Rush comes on in, but Koala, instead of Dredgelining into the Ahri, goes backwards, but Lazar still here, being dangerous as Shiromine makes it danger for CFO. His ulti up and available, and it looks like nothing happens for now as Gemini are playing with fire, and CFO still haunting for a fight.
You know what? I appreciate Lazar still looking for the play, because in a lot of our previous games, once he's set behind, he's really just playing catch-up the entire way. Always behind on the play, but Shiromine in a 1v1 against Rest, it's not going to be a 1v1 much longer, though.
Again, what are we expecting here? Shiromine with the instant ult in, Rest at half HP. Gemini joins in, though. And Arashi wants that Heartbreaker. He gets a stun onto Gemini.
Level advantage.
Half HP. Ulti lands on in. Gemini burning down.
Close, yes!
There's your reset. That'll turn into a Sonic Wave as well, but Rest is already out. Nicely done again. Arashi carrying this early game.
Arashi looking really, really good here, taking advantage of Rest in that top lane. And again, like, Shiromine on this Malphite is going to be instrumental as well. So these two champions could just very well carry this mid game for Sem9.
Yeah.
But they need some help. They need a little bit more damage coming in from Lazar or ClayX to aid them in those efforts. And Felia,
level 5. He is level 5 versus Victor. Please run away. That's a 4-level lead. And he's about to get sandwiched in if he sticks around in the choke. Koala's going to spot him out.
Oh no, he went over the wall.
But no one's nearby for now.
Level 6 Koala
has the ulti. Does he want to play support or combat? Arashi's here again. Gemini's willing to play it out. Bailout's there too. Sonic Wave at max range, but not taken. It's in front of the dragon that both these teams are converting, and I just love the willingness to fight in this early game. Yoink.
Gemini snags away that dragon. But he doesn't have smite now for the dragon. That is slowly coming off cooldown. That could be actually an interesting point here for the next play, as he's you just see I keep stalling.
I'm just noticing while you're talking here that CFO have a 3k gold lead, 3,500 gold lead, kind of out of nowhere, even after Sem9 with the one picking up the response kills. And it's because of top, with the CS lead still there, after Rest has been ganked twice. Mid is 30 CS ahead. Bot is 30 CS ahead. It is just lane diff here from CFO.
Yeah.
Kind of what you expect when Sem9 are the team at the bottom, so rightly so.
Yeah, they'll now secure their second dragon here. We'll see what rift it is going to be. As Cloud means
top again.
Yeah, let's go top lane.
Minions are dead, but Rest soon will be as well. Good knock up here. Shiromine is tanking up. Rest buying time, but a good flash response. Lazar comes in. Another turret shot. He heals up. He's ticking down. Nicely played from Rest. An attempt, but Sem9 get there in the end while Mission wants the 1v2 mid. Hang on. Hold your horses. Bailout's there, but Gemini saves the day. Kick flash back in. ClayX, the bailout times out, and Gemini to the rescue once again. This jungler is so legit it hurts.
Oh my god, Gemini, right place, right time once more, and unfortunately, Rest has been the odd man out. But at the same time, he's been really absorbing a lot of pressure still. Even though he is dying, he still has a massive CS edge. And I mean, and now it just comes down to, can Arashi carry, because it is the Sunder build, so it's not the highest DPS build you could muster, and which means we need that extra ounce coming in from either a Lazar or a Clay X. But if you get that first reset, the best part about Viego is, if you kill them, you get to steal their items. So gold almost doesn't matter.
That's true. But as we look towards mid, I mean, Gemini, the saving grace, Mission going in against the 1v2. He has that much faith in his jungle duo.
Yeah, a little bit miscoordination on the Jinx Renata combo as well. Velia hasn't looked too comfortable on this Renata pick, I have to say. But for Sem9, on this next Rift Herald, I think that's really where it boils down to. Can they find a fight at either of these next two objectives? Because you do have the Frozen Heart completed onto Shiromini. This is probably the strongest one-item power spike that you could get for a Malphite, just because of how devastating he is going to be if he gets access to the backline.
Just curious, I don't think I've seen a Frozen Heart first on Malphite in all my time. Well, I'm not going to say all my time at casting, could have missed a couple, but at least for this split with our Malphites. Interesting to see here. We can talk about it shortly because Sem9 want to dive this bottom lane. Lazar and Arashi holding the wave together, but Rest has so much wave clear, there's not really a wave to play with. Sem9 are wasting so much time. Look at mid. The response play from CFO is forcing
They're all coming
them down. But yeah, okay, never mind. They're just going to double down on Rest. Collateral damage is there, but onto Lazar. Look at Rest. Take it on the team against Arashi. He's kited it out. He needs one more auto, but he doesn't find it. Arashi had the bailout too, but Rest gets so much respect for playing weak side this game, while CFO are taking resources across the map. This is going to be so worth.
I mean, they lose the tower mid, they lose the tower top lane, they lose their jungle in that top half. They've really just exchanged everything to try and kill Rest. But at the very least, Rest doesn't get to play League of Legends. I guess that's as much of a dub for Sem9 because they haven't been able to play League of Legends all split.
Well, CFO are going to bring action back in as Gemini gets a kick against the wall. Shiromina, nothing done with it. They don't want to take it in because he has the unstoppable force. And at least for Sem9, they get back out on the map fast enough where they stop the turret push. But look at the gold lead. It's expanded despite Rest going down. We're almost at 7,000. In fact, 6,000 if I can do math properly. We got 6,000 gold with Dragon coming up with Herald number 2 as well. Look at the item difference on your map. 2 items here for Atlan. We've almost got 2 items for Rest despite his game. 2 items coming shortly for Mission, who is leading in gold, as you can now see. Even over Arashi, who got so many resources in the early game.
Yeah, Arashi has to be the big focus here for Sem9. How does this top jungle interaction work out for this next fight? Could potentially come around. Well, okay, it's not going to happen here.
Yeah, good ulti attempt. TP coming through, and that was taken by CFO. Nice from Arashi to try out as Lazar teleports in for that play. So Rift Herald is going to be taken here by CFO, but 15 seconds till Dragon. I wonder if they're going to stick around to try and fight for this next objective.
Now here's the issue. Because they've already lost mid-tier 1, CFO could just go for almost a base race play while Sem9 are looking for the Dragon because they have Rift Herald.
Oh, nice here from Atlan, but he ults the wrong way. Shiromini not getting an ult off, but the ulti from the new champion is nice. Gemini jumping into melee range, though.
That's 2.
Well, Arashi's going to have an Ari. I don't know what that was there, but hang on a minute. Sem9 find it anyway. And I guess it's going to be okay as Arashi's carrying the fight. I'm lost for words as over the wall. He's going to find Rest again. They want the top lane. He flashes away, but Arashi under turret, maybe a little bit too deep. Rest is there, autos him to death, but Dragon's denied. This is a bit of a fiesta, and I had so much trouble tracking that last fight.
Oh, we're going to need the replay on that one, Hysterics. But Arashi concedes over a gold bounty to Rest, so I mean, as well as he was doing in the CS department, he was missing that extra boost of gold coming in from the kills. As you get to see the replay. Great ulti coming in from Shiramini, forces out the ultimate coming in from Atlan early on, and it sets up for an alright Renata ultimate, but at the very least it controls a lot of space, which forces Mission out of the fight. And because of that, they're able to find those kills. And Arashi also still gets his trademark Lee Sin, but unfortunately unable to finish off this kill. He gets stuck in the Krugs, which means that Rest gets a nice little gold bounty.
And I mean, I just watched Gemini in that fight. A great play in the early game, but Gemini going so deep and Sonic Wave lands. And here we go. It's time to talk him up once again. The dichotomy of this jungler, where CFO, we come back even after losing the Dragon. It's still a 6k gold lead. They're pushing on multiple fronts, and Lazar here with the charm,
nice
and
nice
on
charm.
2-man as well. Atlan has the ulti though, but down goes Koala. M9 on the chases. Arashi wants to be Atlan now, jumping forward. The feathers fly, the blades fall out. But Shiramene with the ulti trying to pick a target, but Atlan, he's out safely, and Rest is here with the collateral damage. They're so low, and the kick as well ends up being a 2-man. But Shiramene is out looking to turn around, and CFO are still down a member, as Shiramene can't find the chase to get back in.
Oh, Shiro just really threatening with this ult.
Oh, okay, well, we got a flash out coming from Atlan, but
Rest
Arashi's deep. It was flash to flash. Shiramene forced that one from Mission, but now the re-engage. CFO have it as the bailout buys time, but Rest is here, getting revenge for this game. He heard you knocking with a Sonic Wave, and Gemini gets on in.
Too far.
This time a little bit too far. Well, last time it was too, but there ain't no reset to follow up. It's messy League of Legends, and I'm all about it.
At the very least, M9 are putting up a fight. With this Malphite pick, I talked it up saying that it was the key for them to try and get back into this game, and maybe the one way they can actually find fights. And here it is, a replay of that last fight. Shiramine ults forward, looking for Mission, knowing that, hey, I don't have any resistances against this AP threat. If we can burst them out, I can just steamroll the rest of the fight, but Mission flashes it, and that's really kind of the rest of the fight down the drain. But now it is going to be missing summoners on all of the backline carries for CFO. So this next ultimate from Shiramine could be devastating.
How hard it is for Sem9 to try and get their first win. 0-16, this team fighting so hard, but CFO still with a huge gold lead. The kick comes through, and yep, Felia is deciding to bail himself out, but unfortunately, he doesn't have the money. And that means he stays in jail right now for another 30 seconds. Sem9, 5 versus 4. Baron's up and available, and CFO right in front of the purple worm.
Yeah, usually you would say, hey, with 2 lethality champions, you don't do it that quickly, but
okay,
Mine coming in with a flank.
They're all over the map. I mean, Lazar's not there. There's a rocket, but CFO are burning this down. Koala paying retribution there, but in front of the Baron, they secure a Shiramene ult in, but to no effect at half HP, while CFO have the damage. They force his flash. Look at Rest. He is so sick of this game.
He doesn't
care. He cares
care.
not for the Baron. He cares not for the team. Sem9 want to collapse.
But Arashi.
But this Graves is still here standing, trying to play around, kiting everything, but eventually he drops. And CFO might lose the top laner, but they got 4 members with the Baron buff.
They get themselves a Baron, but Sem9, they come out with a small victory by getting a shutdown onto Rest, onto their Jinx. So, you know, that small silver lining, I mean, you can barely see it, Hysterics.
Yep. But
it's technically still there.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because this game has just been a lot of whoopsie-doo. It's a 21 kill game in 23 minutes. CFO, well, you wouldn't call this clean, as Koala's just walking into enemy territory by himself. He dredge lines back in. Ult there, Koala lucky to be alive, but Gemini in the backline. A 2-man kick with the bailout saving him.
Hero has ult.
As the ulti comes through, Felia misses. It's zones. Shiramine ults out of there, flashes through. What is this game? Rest is like the best player, and he's 0-4.
I would love to see Rest get the MVP here because
he's got an Axiom arc. What is the build? What's happening? What is the build? What the hell?
He's just got pure shred. I feel like this is a bit of a mistake because he could have just gotten, you know, a Last Whisper item. But you know what? Hey, more power to him.
Yeah, something like, yeah, more power to them. I mean, I both love and hate, you know, Rest is a pro player. I'm garbage. Seeing the Axiom arc, we're getting ult Sentry here with resets. Sonic Wave connects. CFO love blood, and at this point, Gemini not taking a Sonic Wave is news to me as Lazar gets burnt down again. Koala dredge lines in. This guy a baller in some ways. Rest goes over the wall. Sem9 are dealing with the graves in their face, and CFO just flaunting their wallets right now. Money falling out left, right, and center. Sem9 can't defend 2 inhibitor turrets.
And it's just a full court press coming in from CFO here. See when Sem9 decides to pull the trigger because they need to look for an opening.
Shiramine is stretch lined in. Koala brings him closer towards his mid laner, but he won't get the kill as ClayX is hit as well. Look at Rest and Gemini on the front lines of battle. Rest cares not. He is so sick of Arashi this game. Collateral damage comes through. The Axiom arc brings him closer to yet another. Arashi going golden, looking for a bit of a kill reset, but triple over the mission. This game, a bloodbath, and in that kind of fashion, CFO will move closer towards the top of the table, but boy, oh boy, was it not convincing. Sem9, I'm sorry, they'll have to say 0-17.
Sem9. They made it entertaining.
Oh, that's a word for it.
It was, at the very least, they made it spicy. And it wasn't just your stock standard keeling over in Doom and death and waiting for it. So credit goes to them and at least putting up a fight, but for CFO, they got what they came for, and that was Sem9's lunch money.
They got what they came for. They came for a scrum. They literally came for a schoolyard scrap. The lunch money was taken, but unfortunately they then went to the parents and they said, look, we're going to fight you for that as well. That's how deep this game goes for CDBC Flying Oyster. And, you know, a lot of people look at the names on this roster. Mission, Rest, like Gemini. There's very well-known names globally who, you know, in the past, we've seen these guys represent, we've seen these guys be at the top of the game for the PCS and the, you know, elements. I love this team, but I also kind of wonder how far they can go, because this is the team that also isn't clean, maybe like the PSGs or the J teams at their heights. Deep Cross Gaming, yes, recently haven't been the cleanliness either, but they've still been a team that, you know, in the mid to early parts of the split have been able to close out games significantly well. Mm-hmm. I kind of wonder where CDBC will end up, because despite getting this win, this is not a team I'd be confident in with the other top 5 Nightstar.
Yeah, with CDBC Flying Oyster, mechanically, you have the most confidence in them to just win up a straight-up fight.
Wrong.
But when it comes to maneuvering around the map, they all kind of have their own agendas. Like, especially Rest in that last game. Just saying, you know, screw what's happening elsewhere. I'm just going to dead man push. Sure. Just all the way. It's Nexus or bust. I mean, fortunately, the rest of the team were also so far ahead that he could kind of do that. But when it comes to some of these other matchups against the top 5, you can see if they don't win through team fighting or just mechanical outplays, they look lost. And they had moments, Hysterics, that they kind of look a little lost, Koala.
That's okay. Moments are good. Like Koala going on a journey. I know all about it being in Australia. Koalas literally sleep during the day. They're active at night. They call them drop bears, but honestly, you know, Koala wasn't dropping out of any trees then. He was the one jumping up them. And, you know, props to the support who decided that Nautilus was going to go full throttle every single team fight. But, you know, I still give some props to CFO, right? They first picked this Lee Sin. And Nightstar, all it takes is Gemini on it as someone who can carry through the early stages with his priority lanes, and he looks unleashed. And I think, even though Arashi was diving bot over and over, Gemini was still getting equal or more amounts of resource with his response play.
Yeah, Gemini played this Lee Sin to a T. Was controlling everything that was going around the map. Yes, Rest died a whole lot, and I would have loved to see him get the MVP anyways, but Gemini, clearly the MVP in that regard. Even got, in that last fight, when Shiromine engages onto the backline, he goes in, kicks Clay X on the Jinx back into his team. So having just massive impact on this Lee Sin pick.
Does that look like a face of mercy to you? Look at Gemini, look him in the eyes, and you tell him that he's not going to playoffs. Now, of course, CDBC are. We know they are. They're not going to be in the lower bracket. But it's all about how far they can go, and Gemini means business. I'm scared of that man. I know he would probably 1v1 me in real life. And all I could say is, like, it's a pleasure watching CFO no matter how messy. I think earlier in the split when I started casting PCS, I really enjoyed their DCG game. I think their J-Team game as well, I casted too. It's a lot of fun because the confidence out of Rest and Mission alongside Gemini is what makes CDBC Flying Oyster for me, and what makes them such a deadly team that could maybe finish, 5th or 6th. But then could also finish in towards playoffs, could get all the way to finals in some crazy kind of scenario. I think this is the most, would you say unreliable, but also unpredictable team in the PCS right now?
Yes, it would definitely be our most volatile team, right? Where they can spike really, really hard. Their highs, definitely international level, but their lows... Oh, man, it could be rough. We haven't quite seen all the lows, but certainly still there, as at the very least, they got what they came for.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, that's right. I love a nice short line there, Nightstar. But we do have one final matchup, and people have been asking about this one. Our final matchup of the night, it goes to PSG and Beyond Gaming. This is one you definitely don't want to miss, with PSG sitting first, and Beyond Gaming looking to rise up the ranks as well.